could you just stop laughing, please? This is getting creepy.
間に合ったできた全部できた私が殺したやつはこれで全員
Nope, she's still going. Well, at least Wena isn't like the. Oh, what the fuck? Not you too, Wena. Okay, can everyone just shut up? Just shut up. Thank you. Alright. Oh, god fucking damn it. Hi everyone, and welcome to Weeb Review, the show where I review your favorite anime. And today, my degenerates, we have When They Cry, a series that took me way longer than expected to finish. Sorry for taking so long, I was feeling a little sick. The first season dropped in 2006 and it became a hit known for its horror elements, making it one of the only horror anime out there that is actually pretty scary. For those who haven't seen the show, I'll explain the premise before I spoil the hell out of it, because trust me, you want to go into the show without knowing nothing about it. But I will say that this anime is really good and it has my recommendation. Also, since the story has multiple seasons, I split up the review in multiple pieces so we can keep this nice and organized. So grab your favorite hatchet and your neck brace because we are covering the entire When They Cry series. Minus Yumineko, because I heard that has nothing to do with the series. So I may say that for its own review. Anyway, let's just get into this. The story takes place in June 1983 in a small little village called Hinamizawa. Meet Keiichi Marabusa, a young boy who just moved there. His dad is a witch artist, and yes, like everyone else, he has these insane moments. We'll get into that later. Keiichi has friends named Rena, Mion, Rika, and Satoko, who are all a part of this game club thing where they play board games. Rena, wait a minute, do y'all hear that? I think it's that's right, it's the Best Girl Award! Best girl right here, boy. I'm so fucking gay. Rena is the nice girl of the group. She seems rather level-headed compared to the rest of the group. That is, until we find out that she is a stalker and a murderer. Out of all of the girls, she's the one that freaks me out the most. Just fucking look at her. And this hatchet thing that she carries around, like, can you just not, Rena? Her parents got divorced a while ago, which leads to her going insane. Her character shines in the first arc and the last arc due to her being a main focus. Out of all these girls, you will probably know her the most because of how terrifying this girl really is. Mion is another girl. She gives off slight hints of loving Keiichi. Well, she didn't give slight hints. I mean, they literally had an entire arc about her liking him. Mion's really only notable thing is that she's next in line to be the head of the Sonozaki family, which is one of the three main families that won the village, and she got tortured mentally by her sister. And when I say tortured mentally, I mean she heard the sounds of all her best friends screaming for their lives, as her sister just brutally murdered them, slowly. Satoko is one of the younger girls in class. She's a little kid, though I do appreciate her backstory the most out of all the girls here. Her parents died in an accident, her uncle and aunt abused her, and the only person who really ever loved her was her brother Satoshi, who ran away from the village after he committed murder, who is also a very important piece to the puzzle, so remember him. Rika is the lone member of her family, Furud, which is one of the three great families that won the village, just like Sonozaki up there. She would be best girl if she wasn't 10 years old. Rika is aware of the time loop that all her friends are in. Now, by her gentle appearance, you may think this show wouldn't show scenes of her being murdered, right? Shion is another character who is pretty important, but she isn't really part of the main group. She's the twin sister of Mion. She pretty much takes the spotlight from Mion as well. You can often see these girls switch places, with Shion pretending to be Mion as a big piece in the second to last arc of the series, leading everyone to believe that everything evil she did was actually Mion and not her. She had this relationship with Satoshi and goes insane on everyone, especially Satoko, but I also think she would be best girl if not for the obsession over Satoshi. More characters that I kinda have to mention are Takano, Tomotaki, Dr. Irie, and Orochi. as they play a big enough role in this season to get a say. Basically, the story is that every night at this cotton drifting festival, someone dies and someone goes missing. This has been going on for 4 years straight. This would be the 5th year. This time, it was Tomotaki who went crazy and scratched at his throat until he killed himself. Takano, who got burned in the mountains. Since this is a time loop, you will constantly hear the fact that they died. Oishi is a detective trying to figure out what happened, and Dr. Irie is a doctor who was friends/workers with both of them. After the 2 murders and the cotton drifting festival, that's when shit gets crazy. Varying from the arcs you're given, Wena, Shion, or Keiichi end up going insane and killing someone. And then time resets, and you're back at square one. There is no plot really, due to the characters all being in a time loop. You're given different arcs instead. Each arc gives away more secrets about the characters and the village, so you, the viewer, is constantly trying to pick and piece what is really happening, while also getting connected with the characters. But it does take its serious parts very seriously, being generally some of the most terrifying scenes I have ever seen in anime. I do not like fingernails no more because of this show. I've seen a lot of fucked up things in my life, but fingernail scene really no. Something about watching 2 girls you just met give a guy snatch, but they actually hid needles inside the snatch, makes me not want to take snatch from little girls ever again. Haha, fuck you, Girl Scouts. I know what you're planning. These scenes would be a lot more terrifying, however, if the animation wasn't just meh. Let's face it, the animation, even though it fits the mood when it's happy, when there are these important scenes, it really looks bad. Look, I get it. This show came out in 2006, but it's kind of hard to take it seriously when the characters either look stupid or look like they took LSD for the first time and is all sorts of fucked. Some critics say that the animation ruined the experience for them, and while I can see why, as seriously, sometimes it looks comical. I wouldn't say the same for myself, as even though it looks awful, the show has scenes that will stick in your mind. Some say the art style is also a drawback, and for the first few episodes, I also wasn't a fan, but after watching it, I believe the art style was just pushing the show more and more to be this really simple and cute anime, which as we discussed isn't the case, and it gives the show its own art style that is easily recognizable. At least that's what I believe. Either way, I enjoyed the season, and I had high hopes for season 2, and boy did it deliver. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't sure what they were going to do with season 2. I mean, there was no way we were going to get a satisfying ending with how the series was going prior to season 2. Luckily, they made a complete left turn with season 2. If you were expecting the same gruesome scenes from season 1, then you were going to be disappointed. Now, don't think that that is a bad thing, because oh man, it is fucking not. In fact, I actually find the switch from horror anime to mystery anime to be a good one, as you see all the characters, and I mean literally all the characters, get more development. Firstly, Rika, you know, the small cute sunshine that she is actually the character that gets the most development, as she is pretty much just like you. She is also trying to figure out how to get out of this time loop. Even though every character tries eventually, she's the one you start out with, and she's the one you will be spending the most time with from here on out. You see Rika get her hopes up just for them to get crushed, and just when you realize it could all be over, you find out that there's still an entire second half of the series to get through. Won't you say, that you want it anyway? Won't you say? Rika also has this person called Hanyu who kind of follows her around. She wasn't introduced in the last season at all. Hanyu is a goddess who's been watching everything go down since the very start. These two have been together for thousands of years. She isn't as much of an adorable sunshine as Rika or Satoko, but she's still alright. I'd give her a light 7 overall on her cuteness scale. Anyway, so we learned that Rika is the queen carrier of the Hinamizawa syndrome, which is a virus that each and every character has. Yeah, that one where they claw at their own throats to kill themselves. Yeah, that's the one. She's the one who controls that and prevents that from spreading. If you leave her presence, the symptoms will come back up and you will die, which explains why anyone who leaves the village dies or suffers from the syndrome. And Dr. Takano's theory, if Rika dies, that disease will spread, and in 48 hours, the entire village would die. Which is why in every arc, even in the first season, Rika is always targeted by people and usually killed. Because these people want the syndrome to spread. But that leaves one big question, you say. Who are these people? Why would someone want to kill Rika to spread a lethal disease that could kill an entire village of people? That, my friends, is also answered in this season, and the culprit for everything that's happened is Mio Takano. That's right, the girl who died in every arc last season was the bad guy all along. Fucking idiots. Let me explain. The other character to get major focus was Mio Takano, as you learn about her tragic backstory. Mio's parents died in a car accident when she was a young kid. She was forced to live in a foster home where her and her friends were being abused. When they escaped, Mio got moved again. This time, she lives with Dr. Takano. You know, the guy who came up with the Mazawa theory from before. Dr. Takano actually treated Mio good, and they worked on his theory together. Only for all his hard work to be mocked and laughed at by everyone else, which he took to his grave. Now Mio works to try and prove her grandfather's theories right, which would result in her needing to kill Rika. Yeah, that's right. What seemed to be a giant surprise makes a little more sense with a tad bit of backstory. She faked her death and hires a bunch of people to try and kill Rika and all her friends. This season is overall better than the first season, and that says a lot because I loved the first season. The only downfall with the first season was the animation, and they greatly improved on that. The crazy parts actually look creepy and not funny. I love this show, and it was memorable, funny, sad, horrifying, and it has a satisfying ending that puts the series in a nice little box with a nice little red bow at the top. But we aren't done just yet. Way, which is what I'm going to call this series, was a 5-episode OVA that ended up being a continuation after the first 2 seasons. You get the first and last episode, which are both silly and fun, and the more serious episodes in the middle. The first episode is literally just a beach episode, but instead of a beach, get this, it's in a fucking water park. I know. And the last episode being basically the best episode in the series for anyone who ships Rena and Keiichi. So you should probably watch this episode as it is the best one in the show. The plot episodes are basically when Rika gets hit by a truck, she is transported to another world where everything is opposite. That's right, this is When They Cry, the Isekai edition. What I mean by everything is opposite is that everything that happened in the last 2 seasons didn't actually happen. Rena's parents never get divorced, so she never goes insane. Satoshi never kills someone and gets the syndrome, so Satoko is never alone and he never leaves, which also leads to Shion never going crazy. And Keiichi is never there because his incident never happens. What's more is Rika is hated by Satoko to the point where Rika goes full WWE on her ass with a chair. In fact, most people hate Rika in this world. Nobody ever talks to her. The only people who do in her class are Rena, Mion, and Satoko. You know, after she just got abused with a chair. After she leaves that world, she wakes up in the world that she was in before, and the world previously was just a dream according to Hanyu. This OVA is only optional, so you don't need to watch it if you're not that interested, but even then, I still think it's pretty good. It's still just season 2 with less episodes, but hey, it's a thing in the series. So, geez, man, something about this anime, it's making me feel really weird. Anyway, I have one more show to cover, so I'ma just get through this. I'm gonna fight this, whatever this is, and I'll go to the doctor or something later. Fuck me. Well, this was a thing that happened. I guess. You know, it kind of amazes me how much of a jump this was. Everything about this OVA is nothing like before. It's the silly episodes from seasons prior, but like times 100 on the fan service. The OVA has little going for it since there is no mystery or murders, or basically anything people came for when they cry for, but I still enjoyed the hell out of it. Oh, don't get me wrong. This, and especially the first episode, is a train wreck of garbage. Just back-to-back fan service of every single character. Hell, even fangirls have a new ship in Keiichi and Satoshi now because of this episode. How'd we go from this?
どうしよう。1000回ごめんなさいって言うんだよ。そしたらさとこを解放してあげる。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
To this.
すごいよリカちゃん
For real though, once you get past the first episode, the entire OVA gets gradually better over time. The third episode was pretty enjoyable actually. It gives us a scenario where Mion, Shion, and Rena all love Keiichi, and then Rika and Satoko set up a game to try and find out who would be Keiichi's soulmate. That's right, it was a battle of the ships to see which one was canon, and the winner is... Keiichi it's Mion's grandma. No, I'm okay. I'm okay, I'm fine. It's not the ship I wanted, but I'm okay. The fourth episode, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, it didn't insult me, but it really didn't have anything that blew me away. And hold up, is that Small Rika? That's Small Rika I see right there. Sorry guys, I think I just found something I'm willing to die to protect. Honestly, get through the first episodes and the OVA actually is pretty enjoyable. I actually find it really overhated. Maybe to the common viewer this is garbage, but as someone who prides himself on the amount of trash they've seen, I can safely say this doesn't even scrape the basic level of trash. Well, besides that weakest scene, that can fuck off. What this OVA showed me was that I would kill for a remake of the first season with this animation, cause goddamn this is good. Yeah, I'd kill for this. Oh, I think I feel better now.
あなたの亡骸に土をかけるそれが禁じだ